Hello, my name is Teresa, and I am a fille-de-roi, or a king's daughter as we are sometimes called. I often spend my days cooking or cleaning, and I have found a husband and have children. I'm in charge of making all meals and cleaning up after my family. All day I do housework. Many girls along with me are orphans. We have been shipped from France to New France. A lot of young girls had gotten sick from the voyage. Only a few single women wanted to leave their homes to move and settle in the harsh climates and conditions of New France. But the payment, called a dowry, was enough to make the decision very easy. We had to supply a letter of reference from our parish priest before they would let us be chosen for immigration to New France. When we came, we were very young, from the ages of 12 to 25. For many young girls, it was a scary trip without their parents. When the women arrived in New France, the amount of time it took for them to find husbands varied greatly. For some, it was as long as a few years, and for others, it was short as a few months. While others, before finding an appropriate husband. For me, it only took a few months. I was lucky that way. When it came to choosing a husband and the actual marriage, most couples would be engaged with their priest and a witness present in a church, like us. We signed a marriage contract. Marriages were then celebrated by the priest. While the marriage proclamation usually had to be published 3 times before the wedding could take place, the colony's need for women to marry quickly led to very few fille-de-roi actually having a marriage proclamation announced. The marriage contracts represented a protection for the women in terms of financial security if anything were to happen to them or their husband. The population of New France was very low. Most of the population was men, which led to the population decreasing. The only thing France could do to keep the population going is give the single men wives and then have children. Many men were carpenters or soldiers, and the women were mostly stay-at-home wives. Almost half of the fille-de-roi were from the Paris area, 16% from Normandy and 13% from western France. Many were orphans with almost no personal possessions, and their level of literacy was fairly low. Socially, the women came from different backgrounds, but were all very poor. They might have been from an elite family that had lost its fortune, or from a large family with children to spare. Those women of higher birth were usually matched with officers or gentlemen living in the colony, sometimes in the hopes to marry nobles and thereby encouraging the nobles to stay in the colony rather than return to France. All in all, I'm fairly pleased with my new life, even though it can be difficult, and I miss my family and hope that maybe someday I may return.